Hi guys, this is Vineet and I welcome you to this video. Today's video topic is backup devices in SQL Server. Before we proceed ahead, I would request you guys to please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There is a subscribe button that is coming below this video. Please click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding my future and upcoming videos, and also notifications regarding the business continuity videos that I am posting these days. If we talk about this video belongs to SQL Server business continuity section. So this is the area on which I'm posting the videos these days. So let's move ahead. Let me give you 5 seconds to subscribe. Please go ahead and do so right away. Alright guys, I'm waiting. Please go ahead and quickly subscribe to my channel. So guys, I hope you must have subscribed to my channel by now. So let me move ahead. Today's topic is backup devices in SQL Server. There are some points to remember while watching this video. Please watch this video till the end to gain better clarity of the concept. And if it's possible for you, please watch this video twice or as many times as you like until the concept gets clear to you. Perform any exercises in your test and lab environments only. Do not touch any production environment or production databases. We would like to know your thoughts regarding our videos, so please do share in your comments, feedback and suggestions. We eagerly wait for your comments and would love to read the same. We have created some playlists for you to watch, and links for all these playlists are available in the video description area of this video, so you can check out the video description area of this video to find out the links. Some of our popular playlists are SQL Server database design, SQL Server tables, business continuity, SQL Server indexes, SQL Server performance tuning, SQL Server integration services. And the links to all these playlists are given in the video description area. Please go ahead and check it out. And if we talk about the total number of videos posted on our channel, it's more than 261 videos at present. And below that there is my channel page link, youtube.com/@master data science with Vineet. You can go to my channel page to watch it out. Apart from that, guys, we have starting our coaching sessions. So if you are interested in my coaching sessions on SQL Server, basically one-to-one coaching sessions, then yeah, I'm providing the same. So there is a link to avail that service. If you want to avail a single session, then you need to follow the top link, the one ending in 888. And if you want to purchase a package of 30 sessions, these are 1 hour sessions basically. So if you want to purchase 30 sessions package, you can go to the below link ending up in the 907. These are the links, the topnet.io links you can go through. I will also include these links in the video description area of this video, so you can go to them. Otherwise, you can type out these links in your browser to go directly to that page and pay for the service to avail that service. Because there are many requests coming in for coaching, so that's the reason I have started out one-to-one sessions, because I don't believe in group coaching. You don't get individual attention, so it's very beneficial for you if you need one-to-one attention while learning SQL Server. Alright guys, let me come back to today's topic, which is backup devices in SQL Server. And before we again proceed ahead, let me take you to my channel page quickly to give you the idea of my channel page. So this is my channel page. The link is, I've highlighted the link. So this is the link you need to open. And I'm including this link in the video description area as well. You will find out some playlists. You can search out videos using this button. So for example, if you want to search videos about backup, you can type the term backup and press enter. It will list out the videos related to backup. Alright, let me go to the home screen. There are several type of lists available here. There's a for you section. So it basically lists the videos as per your viewing preferences. So it will be customized for you. For me, it's showing temporal tables and index maintenance methods, various videos it is showing to me. And apart from that, it is showing the videos section, and this basically lists out the videos as per the date they are posted on the channel. So my recent video, the recent video I had posted is recovery models in SQL Server. This was the last one, which was posted 1 day ago. Just below that, there is a popular videos playlist, which basically shows the videos that are more popular in my channel. On my channel, getting more views, so you can watch them out as well. And these are basically the videos related to business continuity section, which are getting more traction these days. And the last session is for the playlist. So from my channel page link, you can also check out my playlist. If we talk about this video pertains to the business continuity area. So there's a playlist for business continuity area as well. This is the one SQL Server business continuity. The reason we create playlist for you is because we feel that playlist is the best way to learn instead of watching videos randomly here and there. I think you should ideally follow a playlist. So if you want to learn about the business continuity area, what we would recommend is you can go to the view full playlist section. I've clicked on this link, view full playlist. It will open up the playlist for you. All right. And from that playlist, what we would recommend that you should start with video 1 and go till you finish up with the playlist by watching the last video. And guys, in case you reach towards the end of the video and there are no more videos to watch, please do let us know so that we can post more videos under that category of playlist. We are still posting more and more videos for the business continuity section, so please do let us know in case you are watching out the videos in this playlist. So let's go back to my channel page. So this is my channel page. So let's come back to today's topic, which is backup devices in SQL Server. So this will be a mix of theory and practical session. So first we will start off with theory and then eventually we will move on to practicals, but practicals are short here, basically dealing with syntax of various statements. So today's topic is backup devices. So let's start. So during the backup operation on a SQL Server database, so whenever we perform a backup operation on a SQL Server database, the backed up data, which is also known as backup, is written to a physical device or a physical backup device. And this physical backup device is initialized when the first backup in a media set is written to it. So this line talking about the initialization of the device. So the device is first initialized when the first backup in a media set is written to it. Now backups on a set of one or more backup devices compose a single media set. So here we are talking about a media set. What is a media set? So if we're talking about any backup which we have taken on particularly one device or more than one device, a single backup we are talking about here. So backups on a set of one or more backup devices compose a single media set. Now let's talk about what is a backup disk here. So it's basically a hard disk or another disk storage media that contains one or more backup files. So by backup disk, we are referring to a disk that is basically a hard storage where we store our backups or backup files. And a backup file is a regular operating system file with a .bak extension. A media set is basically an ordered collection of backup media. It's an ordered collection of backup media. So this one is an important line. Let me highlight it quickly. So it can be an ordered collection of backup media. It can be ordered collection of tapes as well or disk file as well. That uses a fixed type and number of backup devices. So let's talk about a physical backup device. It can either be a tape device or it can be a disk. So either it can be a tape device or it can be a disk file which is stored on a physical hard disk. This physical backup device is provided by the operating system. So tape device or a disk file device is provided by the operating system. A backup can be written to or from 1 to 64 backup devices. So if we talk about a single backup here, we can take a single backup on from one device to 64 devices in a single go. So if we want to take a backup and we want to split that backup across 64 devices, that we can do. That's the maximum limit we have here. Otherwise, we usually take backup on only one storage device. Otherwise, there's an option where we can take a single backup split between multiple backup devices. And if a backup requires multiple backup devices, the devices all must correspond to a single type of device. It can either be a disk or tape. So in case if we are taking a single backup on a multiple devices, those devices should be of same type. Either they can all be of disk type or of tape type. So SQL Server backups can also be written to the Azure Blob Storage as well, in addition to disk or tape devices. Now let's talk about the disk backup devices. Now if a disk file fails while the backup operation is pending a backup to the media set. So if our disk file, basically here we are talking about, if this file completely fails while we are taking a backup, the backup operation will fail. All right. And the maximum size of the backup file is determined by the free disk space available on the disk device. So the maximum size to which the database backup file can expand, it depends upon the free disk space that is available on your operating system. So whatever the free disk space is available on your operating system or on your disk device basically, or on your hard disk, on that disk space depends the maximum size of a backup file wherever you're taking the backup. Therefore, the appropriate size for a backup disk device depends upon the size of your backup. So ideally you should allocate sufficient size backup disk by estimating the size of your backups. Now, if we talk about a disk backup device, this could be a simple disk device such as an ATA drive or SATA or SATA drive. Alright. So either it can be a SATA drive, ATA drive, or alternatively we can use the hot swappable drives as well. That would let you transparently replace a full disk on the drive with an empty disk. Alright, so here we are talking about the disk-based devices. So there are two options available here. Either it can be a simple disk device, just like the ATA drive or the SATA drive. And alternatively, we can also use the hot swappable disk drives. So what are these? So inside the hot swappable disk drives, the disk can be replaced transparently. We can transparently replace a full disk in the hot swappable disk drives on the drive with an empty disk. So we can simply replace a filled disk with an empty disk on the hot swappable disk drives. And a backup disk can be a logical disk on the server. So if we talk about a backup disk, it can be a logical disk on the server as well. So sometimes we define a logical device for your backup disk. So here we are referring to that logical device. So a backup disk can be a logical device or disk on your server, or a remote disk as well, that is using the UNC network shared path location. All right. So that can be a shared network resource as well, or a remote disk as well. Now, if we talk about the SQL Server management tools, these are very flexible at handling the disk backup devices. So our SQL Server management tools, these can easily manage the disk backup devices. They are efficient in handling the disk backup devices because they automatically generate a time-stamped name on the disk file. So basically, whenever we create a backup using the SQL Server Management Studio, the backup, a timestamp is appended to a backup file name so that SQL Server has an idea at what time the backup is taken. Now the recommendation is to keep the backup disk separate from the, so here we are talking about the disk drives. So if we talk in regards to a backup disk drive, we should keep it separate from the database data and log disks. All right. So we should keep the backup disk drives separate from the database data and log disks. So we should keep it separate from these disks. And this is basically necessary to make sure that you can access the backups if the data and the log disk fails. So this is one of the reasons we keep backups on a separate disk drive. So in case your data or log, in case your disk fails where your data and log files are residing, so only we will lose the data and log files and not the backup files that are stored on a separate disk. That's why we store them separately on a separate disk. Now, if database files and backup files are on the same device, so here we are talking about the situation where our database files and the backup files are on the same device. So what happens? And if that particular device fails, so if there's a situation that occurs if your device fails, basically, we will lose both the database and backups. We will lose both of them. So these both database and backups will be unavailable. And also if we talk, putting the database and backup files on a separate devices optimizes the IO performance as well. So basically if we put the data and the backup device, backup files on a separate drives, it optimizes the IO performance as well for both the production use of the database and the writing of the backups. So at the same time, users can access the production databases during the time when backups are being taken to a separate disk. So it basically optimizes the IO of the disk because we are using different disks for keeping both the, on one disk we are keeping the database and log files, and on second disk we are keeping the backup files only. Alright, so it basically optimizes the IO. Now let me take you through some of the demos here, guys. So first demo is on how you can specify the backup file using the physical name. So I need to give you a syntax for that. So here we will show you the syntax on how to specify a backup file using its physical name. Let me share with you the code. So let me invoke the instance of SQL Server and I will type in that code for you. And we are covering this demo. Let me mark it as demo 1 and demo 2, demo 3 and demo 4. Alright, so we are going with the demo 1 where I will show you some of the syntax. Alright, so I've invoked SQL Server. Let's see. So let's connect to the default instance of SQL Server here. And let me write down the syntax for you to specify a backup file using its physical name. So let's trigger a query against my AdventureWorks database. You can trigger your query against AdventureWorks 2022 database. I'm just writing the syntax. I will not actually execute the statement. So just to give you an idea how you can use the backup file, how you can specify a backup file using its physical name. So you need to write down the command backup database in order to take the backup. After you specify the backup database command, you need to specify the name of the database backup. So let me specify the database name. In your case, you can take AdventureWorks 2022 database. In my case, I'm taking my AdventureWorks because I've renamed that database to my AdventureWorks. Earlier, it was AdventureWorks 2022. So this is the command backup database, and you need to specify the name of the database for which you want to take the backup. And then you need to specify the clause where you want to take the backup. We are taking it to the disk, which is the hard disk of the system. So we can specify the path over here where we want to take the backup. So there's a C backup folder present on our drive. So let me specify that folder. And you specify the exact name or physical file name to store the database backup. So in my case, let me take the file name as myadventureworks. In your case, you may take adventureworks2022.bak. So this is the command you can use to take backup of the AdventureWorks database, and I was just explaining the syntax to use the physical file name, which is the complete path. This is the basic backup syntax for specifying the backup file by using a physical device name. Here we have specified backup database, we have given the name of the database, and then we have specified where this backup has to be taken. And we need to mention the name of the physical backup device name. In this case, it's disk. Alright, similarly, once you take this backup and if you want to restore that backup, you need to specify the following syntax. So for restoration of this backup, you need to specify the restore syntax. So for that, you need to use the restore command, and restore database is the command, and you need to specify the name of the database. So in my case, it's my AdventureWorks, and now you need to specify the from disk clause because we are taking the file from the disk through which we have to restore the backup. And you can specify the same path where you have taken the backup for its restoration to our SQL Server database system. So this is the syntax for restoration. This is the syntax for taking up the backup. So we are done with the demo 1. Let me take you to demo 2, where I will show you how to specify a disk backup file path. All right. So let's talk about that, specifying the disk backup file path. So here also I have specified the path, but let's see how it is different. So whenever you are specifying a backup file, you should enter its full path like we have entered here. We have specified the full path and the file name. If you specify just the file name like this, so while taking the backup, if you just specify like this, myadventureworks.back, or if we specify some relative path when you're backing up to a file, the backup file is put in the default backup directory. So if we use this notation, the backup file will be put in default backup directory if you use the above syntax. So we don't specify the exact path where the database backup has to be stored. SQL Server automatically restores or take backup of that file to its default backup location, not direction, it's directory. So ideally it takes the backup. When no location is specified, the backup file will be put in a default backup directory. And what is the default backup directory? if we talk about, so let me take you to a default backup directory for this SQL Server system. So in my case, I'm using SQL Server 2022, and the default backup directory, if I take you to, is on the C drive, program files, and a program file, it's Microsoft SQL Server. This is the one, and under that, this is the version I'm working with. So under MS SQL 16 MS SQL, I have MS SQL folder, and under that we have a backup folder. So this is our default backup directory. So if we take backup without specifying any particular path, the backup will be taken here, which is our default backup directory, right? And if we talk about the default instance, the backup directory is this. And basically, to avoid any ambiguity, especially in scripts, we recommend that you explicitly specify the path of the backup directory in every disk clause. So ideally, we would recommend you to use the full path if you want to make sure where your database backup file is getting stored. All right. However, this is less important when you are using the query editor. In that case, if you are sure that the backup file resides in the default backup directory, you can omit the path from the disk clause. So if you are sure about the backup path, then yeah, you can definitely omit out the backup path from the disk clause, right? You don't need to provide the complete backup path if you are 100% sure where your backup file is getting stored. And this is an example how you specify the backup, just a backup file name without providing the exact path to take the backups. So ideally, the backup will be taken in the default backup directory, which is this one. How do system determines the default location of the backup directory? So I have shown you that this is the default backup location for this SQL Server system. But how will SQL Server system determine that this is the default location? So there is a registry key that holds out that information. So you can open out a registry editor if you want to check that information. So if you go to registry editor, I've opened the registry editor. So the location here is the HKey local machine. So under HKey local machine, expand the software section. Under software section, expand Microsoft. It is already expanded. So under that, go to Microsoft SQL Server. So Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, I'm there. And you need to go to your version, which is 160 we are using, which is the SQL Server version 2022. And under that, you will see the key name is MS SQL Server. So let's see if we have any key with that name. Do we have any backup directory over here? No. So this is not the location where we have to go. So under Microsoft SQL Server, you need to go to MS SQL 16, MS SQL Server, which is the default SQL Server 2022 installation. This one is for 2019 installation, which is another instance I am running on this server. But we need to check the default backup location for MS SQL 16.ms SQL Server. And under that, it is saying that you need to go to the, let's see. So you need to go to the MS SQL Server folder. Under that, you will see the default backup directory, which is coming over here, if you see. So this is the default backup path for your SQL Server 2022 edition over here. And you can change the path from here as well, but we don't recommend that. Alright, so this is how SQL Server determines what is the default backup path in case you don't specify a backup path while taking the backup of a database, basically. Now let me show you so our demo 2 is done, guys, and let me move on to demo 3. So demo 3 shows how you can back up to a network file share. For SQL Server to access a remote disk file, the SQL Server service account must have access to that network share. So guys, in case we want to take a backup on a network share, we need to make sure that our SQL Server service account, which you can determine by going to the services panel, what is your service account. So this is the service account under which your MS SQL Server services are running. So SQL Server services are here. So this is the default instance of SQL Server and it's running under my account. In your case, it may be running under some different account or a service account. If we want to take a backup on a network share, we need to make sure that this particular account has right permissions on that network share. Otherwise, you won't be able to take the backup. Now, this includes having a permission needed for backup operations to write to the network share. and for the restore operation to read from the network share. So the backup operation requires writing access on that network share, and the restoration operation requires the read access on that particular network share for the service account we are using. Now, the availability of network drives information depends upon the context in which the SQL Server service is running. So we have shown you the SQL Server service is running under my account. It may be running under a different account on your system, so you can check that out. And basically, to back up to a network drive when SQL Server is running in a domain. So in our case, the SQL Server is not running in a domain. It's a work group computer, not running on a domain. So in case your SQL Server is running on a domain user account. In our case, we are just using the local user account. So Vineet is a local user account here. It's not a domain account. So we are talking about a scenario where your SQL Server service is running under a domain user account. The shared drive must be mapped as a network drive in the session where the SQL Server is running. So in that case, what we would recommend is that you should map your network drive in your system. Over here, you can map your network drives on which the SQL Server is running. And if you start SQL Server from command line, SQL Server sees any network drives you have mapped in your login session. So even in case you are running SQL Server from the command line, if you have mapped any drives, the command line version of SQL Server can also access those map drives. So it's essential if you want to take a backup on a network drive, you should ideally map that drive. All right. And basically, this should be done in a situation when your SQL Server is running on a domain user account. And second point is that when you run SQL Server exe as a service, so we are talking about the SQL Server executable. If we run it as a service, SQL Server runs in a separate session that has no relation to your login session. So that's we are talking about the command line invocation of the SQL Server exe service. So if we invoke it in a separate command window, it runs in a separate login session. And if we talk about this session, the session in which the service run can have its own map drives, though it usually does not. Now you can also connect with the network service account by using a computer account instead of a domain account. So in this case, we are using a computer account instead of a domain account. And to enable backups from specific computers to a shared drive, grant access to the computer account. So if we want to take a backup on a shared drive, we must give this account, the Beneath account, to permissions on that particular network share. So we should grant access to the shared drive to all the computer accounts that are using the SQL Server service. Let's move ahead. And if we talk about backing up your data over the network, it can be subject to network errors. So sometimes if we take a backup on a network, and sometimes if the network breaks, your backup will get interrupted. And so basically, if we talk backing up data over the network can be subject to network errors. Therefore, the recommendation is that when you are using a remote disk or a network disk, you verify the backup operation after it finishes. So whenever we are taking a backup to a network drive, it is recommended to verify the backup operation after it completes. And the command syntax we use for that is restore verify only. We will show you practically later on how to use that syntax. And let me show you how to specify a UNC convention. So this is a network file share, which is the network share mapped as a network drive. And we can also specify a UNC name while taking the backup. So UNC is also a name of the network share. Basically, UNC stands for Universal Naming Convention name. And let me show you an example of a UNC path. So let me modify it here. Here the backup system is the name of the server, and maybe I have a folder on that. Backup disk 1 is the disk, and on that disk I am taking the backup of this file. So this is the UNC notation, which basically includes the server name and the shared folders under that. So backup disk 1 is the shared folder on a backup system server, where we are taking the MyAdventureWorks database backup in this particular file. I think let's cover the tape backup devices. So this will be the part of one of this video, backup devices. In my next video, I will cover the tape devices, which will be the part 2 of this video, backup devices. So stay tuned, guys. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe right away. I don't want you to miss on any of the videos that I'm creating for the business continuity area. So please go ahead and do so right away. I'm giving you 5 seconds. Please go ahead and subscribe right away. I'm waiting, guys. Please go ahead. So guys, I hope you must have subscribed by now. In case you have subscribed, there must be a like button over there as well, so you can click on the like button if you really like the content of this video. And also, guys, do post in your comments, feedback and suggestions. We eagerly wait for your comments and would love to read the same. And also, guys, if you have a good network of friends, please share my videos with them. There's a share button below each and every video through which you can share my videos with your friends over any of the social media platforms. And guys, also we need your help in asking your friends to subscribe to my channel in case they are working in SQL Server domain or the data science domain. Please ask them to subscribe to my channel, and that will be very much helpful. So guys, I thank you so much for your time on this video today, and you have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.